I only got about halfway through this Jen Psaki clip where she is contending that Democrats, and this is good actually for our side because they've lost this argument and they're not going to be able to persuade people. Like, they're not going to be able to persuade people that boys playing girls' sports is a good idea. They're just not. Because it's visually indisputable. When you see a man, when you see a boy on a girl's team, it's not as hard as where's Waldo. You go, there's the dude right there. There's the dude. Oh, the 6'5" guy, Leah Thomas, Will Thomas. Yeah, that's a man. Okay. The shoulders, the Adam's apple, the height, it gives it away. I just finished raking Jen Psaki over the calls for her stupid. Nothing to see here on the transgender thing because it's not happening all over the country. And because it happens so few places, it's not really a problem. We don't have to really worry about it. And I liken that to this E. coli outbreak from baby carrots from a California grower. And the carrots are on sale at Whole Foods and Walmart and Kroger. And I'm like, well, what are we worried about? I mean, there's only one person dead. There's only 15 people hospitalized. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we sell these carrots everywhere. Why would we be worried about the carrots and the E. coli if we're not worried about the transgender thing? And on my screen pops up from Libs of TikTok. Breaking, Somerset Public School just won the Massachusetts State Championship in girls field hockey. The 2 winning goals were scored by a boy on a girls team. Okay, so more. Maybe Jen Psaki, maybe I didn't listen to her long enough. Maybe if I listen to more, she will convince me.
Look, reflection is good. But if that were actually an issue at thousands of schools across the country, it would be worthy of a debate. But there are just incredibly few examples of transgender girls playing in youth sports. And when we see those examples, there isn't evidence that these kids are a threat to safety or fairness.
Okay, enough nonsense. There isn't evidence they're a threat to safety or fairness. I can't fathom. I really can't. I'm honest. I'm not kidding around. I can't fathom having such a dark heart. You could use your platform on national television to lie to people like that. I can't fathom it. I cannot. One of the things that I pray virtually every day, and if I don't do it every day, I'm remiss in not doing it every day, is that I will use this platform judiciously to expound truth. No amount of money, none, could convince me to do what she's doing that she knows is a lie. She is a mother. She has a daughter, maybe more than one. I don't know. I don't believe in karma, but she is advocating for a position that would, if her daughter were an athlete and were to encounter a boy playing a sport Jen Psaki's daughter played, would reduce the possibility of her daughter gaining the self-esteem she could gain from achieving at a high level athletically. Because while Democrats always complain about the imagined pay difference between men and women, if they always complain when they lose a presidential election that, well, it's sexist, it's misogynistic, and there's a glass ceiling and women can't rise above it. Boys playing girls' sports, defending that vile evil, constructs an unbreakable glass ceiling on what girls can achieve. And they see no disconnect between the position that they take and the reality of damaging girls physically and psychologically. They see it as an issue that they have to be enslaved to lies. Why? Because they need the allegiance and support of a voting bloc that wants them to say these things. It is beyond my understanding how someone can take a paycheck or have a brain so twisted This says nothing. My objection to this has nothing to say, zero to say about the person who is trapped in what must be a hellish existence of doubting your biological reality. My opposition to this has nothing to say about those kids. I feel bad for those kids, but those kids are not served by the people who would continue to lie to them, as I've said many times, because it is inarguable. There is no other, zero other medical condition where the patient self-diagnoses and the doctor, be it a psychologist or be it a physician or be it a surgeon, nods along approvingly because they allow the patient to self-diagnose. That is the essence of gender-affirming care. Do we have cancer-affirming care? Do we have fractured limb-approving care? Do we have... No, we don't, because that would be ridiculous. As is this ridiculous. As is this ridiculous. These are the people. As I said, she's a White House spokesperson. She articulates policy positions, or did, for an administration that would expand, which is to say, obliterate Title IX, which was established 50 years ago, which has been a piece of legislation that people like Billie Jean King and back in the day, women's rights activists, women's sports activists like Donna Lopiano and others hailed as landmark legislation. And all of them now, all of them, clam up and refuse to say anything because they don't want to be excommunicated, shunned from the tribe. It's instructive that when someone like a Chloe Cole goes down this dark path and takes it to its deepest, darkest place and allows the mutilation of their own body in pursuit of their authentic self, and then they gain clarity about the horrific choices that the adults around them failed them on and allowed them to make, it is instructive that the people who lured them into this dungeon of depravity are the ones who most ardently attack them when they gain their sanity and want to return to the life that God ordained for them when he created them in the womb. The vitriol, the cannibalization of people who come to their senses on the lie of gender dysphoria. They don't love you. They don't want you in their community if you dare